Mona, thank you so much for being a part of Mom Life Unfiltered, our Mompreneur Edition. We love it. Love that you're here.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here and share all the mom life things.
Yeah, let's get into it. I mean, walk us through, you're a lawyer, you have your own practice. Talk to us about how you got into law and where you're at now. How is it being a mompreneur?
So when I was young, I was really interested in criminal justice. My dad and I would watch a lot of like the cop shows and jail shows, and I was fascinated by it to like an odd extent. So I always wanted to be in the FBI. And then my older sister went to law school, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like a great idea. So she went to law school, and my brother, who's 14 months older, went to law school. So I'm like, I guess I should go to law school. And I went with the idea of being a criminal attorney. So I went into law school, did really well in my crim law classes, and then I graduated, and I realized I didn't want to do criminal law anymore. I did civil litigation, and then I really got drawn towards employment law because it's the one of the areas of law where you can actually make a difference in someone's life in terms of someone gets fired, that's their income, like that's their livelihood, that's how they pay for things. So it was really important to me to try to help those people get justice for when their termination was wrongful. It's not always wrongful. Like California, where I practice and live, is an at-will state, so you can get fired for any reason, not any reason, but you can get fired or quit for any reason, as long as it's not discriminatory. I know this is not a legal podcast, so I won't go into the
but it is interesting. I already have a bunch of questions, but I'm
call me offline. I'm happy to answer. And then once I had kids, I saw a lot of pregnancy discrimination.
Ooh.
So that was really interesting to me. And that as a mom, I'm like, oh no, you just had a baby and now you're fired or you're demoted because you had a baby. Like women who had performance reviews were epic. So it really just like gave me this passion to do the work I do. So about 8 years ago, before I had kids, my brother and I went off on our own and we started our own firm. Actually, it's been 10 years, not 8.
Wow.
Yeah. Congrats, so I've been practicing for about 15. Yeah, thank you. I've been practicing for about 15 years. And then I realized I wanted to pick the cases that I wanted to do, not have somebody tell me. And so having my own firm gave me that flexibility, which was a great idea. Not knowing then, but it really helped me kind of balance being a mom and having my own firm. Obviously, it's hard because we do everything. I don't have an assistant. I don't have a receptionist. If you come to me with your case, I am handling your case. I'm not giving it to a junior attorney or, I am the one who's doing everything. So, and now having kids, there's a lot of balancing, but it does give me flexibility.
At what point
to have a sick day?
At what point did you have kids?
So I had my first son 7 years ago. He's turning 7 next month.
Okay, so
about 3 years into my practice.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember I was pregnant. I was like 5 months pregnant. I was driving to mediation, and in my head, I was like, "Wait a minute, how is this going to work when I have a kid? Like, who's going to watch my kid? Because you're used to having this time and freedom and doing whatever you want." And I just remember driving down. It was a 405 freeway in Brentwood. I'm like, who's going to watch my child when I have to go to these mediations all day? And like 4 months into having my first son, I had a trial and I was pumping in the bathroom, and it was just, it was wild. And yeah, he came to arbitration with me in Palm Springs, and he was sick, and I was like prepared. Yeah, it was, and I didn't get any leave. That's the thing, because I didn't have anyone to pass my work on to.
Wow. That's really fascinating and amazing. I think that moms are just superhuman. I think that
for sure
99% of the things that moms do, I don't know if dads can do it. Like, no shade against dads, but wow, just the way, I mean, our bodies, on one podcast, it was said that our bodies are like milk machines. and there's so many things that we have to do and provide for our children, and then also work. You know what I mean? And so, and it's interesting that you express something around like discrimination around women, mothers who have had babies and then they've lost jobs. Do you think that we are allowed to be ambitious for ourselves, or does it always have to be about the family or for the family?
That's a great question. And I need to give it some thought, because I think women are amazing and so smart. And even from a young age, right? Women just like, girls perform better. No shade, because I have 2 boys, right? But I think women are innately very ambitious. And then there comes a point in life when you do have kids where your priorities shift a little bit. And it's not a natural shift, right? It's more like, I would like to do this and I do want to continue doing this. For me, it was like my husband said, you could quit. I'm like, well, I don't want to quit. I went to law school. I went to school. I want to do this for me and people. But the ambition I think most women have is they want to do something. And not saying at all that raising kids is not doing something, because that is the hardest job, way harder than being a lawyer. But I feel like, yeah, at a certain point you have to find a balance or choose. And it's not an easy decision either way about whose ambition comes first. But a lot of your decisions just go around the family and your kids.
Well, I feel like if you want to be a successful businesswoman and have kids at the same time, I feel like there's no way around a support system. How do you handle this without having the support of either your husband or your parents or your parents-in-law or, babysitter? Obviously, that's cost intense. Do you have that? Do you have that village of people?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure. So I have a 3.5-year-old who's in preschool for halftime. So he needs. I have a full-time nanny for him only, though, and it is expensive. But I'm like, whatever, it's worth it. It buys me that peace of mind. And for my older one, he's mostly with me, and he's a very, like, if he's not in school, I'm his primary caretaker. Like, today's the first day of school, and he's like, do I have after school? I said, yes. He's like, Mom, that's not cool. It's the first day of school. I'm like, Mom has to work. He like straight up from 6. Like, Mom, that's not cool. Supposed to party. So I need it. I need the after school care. I need the help. But some days I have to pick him up at 2 and then take him to tennis and then take a call with opposing counsel and pretend like I'm in the office when I'm in the car while he's at tennis. It's so much juggling. It's kind of insane, So I do have help with one kid, but the other one, I don't when he's not in school. I have my parents help out. My husband's also a lawyer who's very busy, and he helps out when he can, but it's not this, it's just not feasible for him to help out as much as I would like him to. And that's the other thing about moms. Like, when he goes on a work trip, he just leaves.
Right.
He gets to disconnect, pack his laptop bag, a suitcase, and he's gone. For me, it's like, oh, gotta get lunch, and or not just moms, right? They're still coordinating.
Yeah, but I feel like, so when I leave, I always think I have to do all of these things, right? Like meal prepping, writing a schedule for the kids for the week, but I feel like maybe we're also underestimating our husbands a little bit, because maybe they would do a pretty good job, or who cares if the kids have pizza every day for a week? You know what I mean? I feel like it's a lot of times it's, at least that's how it is for me, because I'm such a not control freak when it comes to my kids, but like how they're being handled, kind of. I need to be able to control that in some ways. And then obviously I make it more stressful for myself, which is so stupid.
I'm laughing because I'm the same. I've let go a lot. Like, eat pizza. You'll live.
Exactly.
I used to have ice cream like ice cream man candy every day and I'm fine. Like the stuff that had lead in it, you know? So growing up, well, they'll be fine. I think for me, it's more when like my nanny's like, oh, where's this? Where's that? Or my husband thinks school drop off is at 8 when it's at 7:50. Even he doesn't know. So it's like those little things. And I feel like as dads, or just some dads, again, just personally, they're so accustomed to the mom knowing everything and being the one in charge that they just automatically default to she's got it. So, but it is a lot of, I think for advice I give unsolicited to new moms who are working and have husbands is really just to get them involved early. Because I did do everything. And that's just my personality. I like to do everything because I am a control freak.
Okay.
You know?
Are you a Virgo?
I'm an Aquarius.
Okay. Wow.
Aren't you, Malliha? Aren't you Aquarius?
No, I'm a Pisces.
Pisces, right.
My son's a
Something, I
Pisces.
knew something with water.
I'm a Pisces.
Some
But
water sign.
that shocked me when you said control freak because Aquarians are so airy, you know. So there must be something else in the chart. But
I am airy in my personal life.
okay.
When it comes to home and work, it's like I want to do it.
And you feel good doing it. Do you have that moment where you feel better doing it as opposed to not?
Yes.
Okay.
Most of the time. And there's a fine line where you start to resent other people, right?
Okay.
I think sometimes I do too much. And this is something I'm actively practicing is just like fail, let people. And this is actually, self-diagnosing myself here. It comes from being an immigrant child. I had to help my parents a lot, like help my dad apply for jobs or just things, they weren't born here. I was going, obviously English wasn't their first language. So I did a lot. And I feel like I need to just help people and help them because I felt like I had to help my parents. And when I was a young attorney, I was doing a mock trial for these high school kids. And my student, he was like this amazing athlete and was busy. So I did all his outlines for him. Like, oh, let me just help him out a little bit. And it turned into him being the worst kid in the class because he didn't get to fail or he didn't get to,
wow.
He was so smart. But that was a really eye-opening experience that the more you try to help someone, it really is a disservice because he didn't get to go through those steps and fail and struggle. And he should have been a star, but he wasn't because I had done everything for him.
Wow.
So how does that flow into motherhood of just like, and you talked about it briefly, you allowing yourself to fail, but also I know it's hard as moms you want to shield your children from failing too, because you've lived through so much, of course. And so you want to like shield them from life a bit, but then also you don't want to fail as a mom. So how are you working or growing through that?
Yeah, I am working through that. It's a lot of trying to give them independence, like putting on your shoes, putting on your clothes, just little things as kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. So one of them is innately very independent, my younger one, and my older one is like, can you feed me while I watch TV? And I'm like, no. But then once we're late for school, I'm just spoon feeding him. So then my anxieties come in of not wanting to be late, not wanting to go get a tardy. So I try, and then my anxiety will take over of, we got to go. Yeah. There's things to do. That's like the day-to-day of it. But it really is about letting them fail. And I haven't really gotten there yet.
Right.
That's something that's really on the forefront of my mind, though, is really letting them learn for themselves. That's the only way people learn. And being that my parents didn't really know anything about school, like I had to learn. I think it made me so independent and it made me feel okay to start my own firm, which is really scary, and have this business because at a young age, I was used to being independent. And I feel I'm doing my kids a disservice if I don't give them that experience of independence. So
well, I feel
really
like it's also not only as a mom, but also as a businesswoman, you need to go through all of these failures and I mean, I feel like you can really put that in every aspect of your life and your kid's life, and right?
Yeah. And being like failing is okay. I've lost cases. I mean, we try not to lose a lot, but sometimes,
Yeah.
the loss, we're pretty good. But you kind of just keep going. And I feel like, oh my God, it's so disastrous to fail for my kids, or for me. I'm like, whatever, you just keep you keep going. So it's my mindset I need to shift to, like, if they fail, if they don't show up with their homework done in kindergarten, they're going to be okay.
Right.
Like, if he doesn't finish it, then he should finish it. He should get in trouble by the teacher or whatever happens in kindergarten.
I think that this failure topic is just so vast. And
Yeah.
we live in a society, especially Western culture, that's just like all about being perfect, having it all together all the time, not failing. If you fail, don't let people see you fail. Fail behind closed doors, and it's like, this isn't realistic. Nothing is realistic around that. I mean, we are human. We don't have the answers. A lot of times we don't even have the solutions. And so it's okay to just not know what's next. And it's okay if we crumble in the process and we have to rebuild ourselves when we failed.
Yeah. And I think also, if you can, like, adding a little humor to when you fail,
Right.
especially around kids, like, oops, mom did this. Oops. Like, it's okay. It is such a lesson. I think one of the most important lessons humans need to learn. There's always quotes like fail once, whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many quotes out there about failure, but it's such an important thing, I think. And being a mom and I'm failing daily. There's like things, I think our first call I missed, like our first email or something. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
Right? It's like sometimes there's just so much, and it's not something I do consistently, but obviously, I mean, whatever. But little things, like I scratched my husband's car rims the other day, and I was like, sorry.
Yeah.
That was me failing and trying to parallel park.
Yeah. And sometimes we will never know how to parallel park.
But this morning, my husband did the same thing.
Okay.
He
We will. Well,
he's like, oh, I'm like, now I can't blame it on me.
do you think that, and I don't know if you deal with this, do you think that the guilt around working, especially as a mompreneur, is legitimate? Or is it internalized societal expectations that are placed on you as a mother?
For me, I think it's internal. I think it depends. For me, I think I want to work. I want to contribute to the household. I want to contribute to society. I feel like I'm making a difference to certain people's lives. Like they tell me, So for me, it's that reward of just really helping people. So I think it's an innate thing for me. Is that answering your question?
Yeah. I mean, because moms, and it's something that I've been thinking about, moms are like, I feel guilty because I work so much, right? And I'm wondering, where is the guilt stemming from? Is it stemming from what society puts on you? Or is it stemming from you're actually feeling really guilty about working?
Got it. Okay. I think both, right? Because sometimes, social media doesn't help. You see people doing a million things with their kids and having time for all these crafts. Like, I don't have time for that stuff. So then that's like a subconscious guilt I'll get. I'm like, oh, well, when they're here, I have to work and I can't organize a room the way I want to because I don't have time. And then a part of it is they're going to be little for this long. I wish I could, like my son, he's home right now, but I'm in my office all day working. And I'm like, well, he's only going to be this age for this long. I wish I could spend a little more time with him. And I do try. I work from home now. COVID did shift a lot of things in my workspace, which were beneficial for me. But there's still, like, some days I don't see him mostly all day if my nanny's with him. And I do, at the end of the day, I feel guilty.
Yeah.
But I spent one day and I only saw him for 30 minutes because I was working.
Right.
That's exactly how it is for me too. Like
Yeah.
so many things and milestones, maybe even that you're missing. So, oh gosh, I mean, we talk about mom guilt so much in our show, but I think it
It's a
is
big deal.
so big. And not in my case, at least, not even because it's put on me by, my surroundings or the society or anything, but by myself. Like I just feel guilty that especially right now, I'm like on such a different schedule. So when now it's like midday in the US, right? The business is like in the middle of the day, and I should be having dinner with my kids, but I can't because I'm working. And it's the same like when they go to bed at 8, I'm still sitting in front of my computer, sending out emails or doing whatever the business requires. And the kids are like, yes, I go in real quick to give them a kiss and then I'm back on the computer. So it's hard. And I feel terrible. And the kids are getting into the age where they certainly understand it, why I'm doing this, but nobody can give us that time back.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I feel a lot of guilt. Sometimes I take like a 3-4 day trip by myself or with a friend just because I need that reset, but then I feel so guilty, like for needing time for myself. Or so there's work, and then there's like, I got to take care of myself too. And then I feel so guilty for being gone. And, it's just, there's a lot of guilt. There is a lot of guilt. I think a lot of it's put on by me. So I'm trying to get better at just, like, one day they'll get married and they'll forget I was gone for 4 days. Like trying to see it like big picture versus in this moment. How are they feeling?
Wow. You just said something that made me like have a physical reaction, because when we take the time to do something for ourselves because we know we need it. And that leads me to my next question. Is self-care just bubble baths and spa days, or is it about something deeper?
I think self-care is deeper. For me, I try to have a spiritual practice as well. So if it's even taking time to meditate, right? But sometimes I hear my kids yelling and I try to get them to join me, but that doesn't work. It is about, I think, taking trips, like maybe getting away. It depends on each person what they need. Like some people are fine with a manicure and a spa day. I love a hike. I love to be out in nature. That's my self-care. Or seeing my girlfriends. So it might be leaning on my husband and saying, can you put the kids to bed so I can go out and see my friends tonight and just have that connection with other moms. And it's just so, or friends who are not moms, just like a piece of you that was there before the kids were there. And finding those joys.
Yeah.
To me, I've really been focusing this past year on what brings me joy and outside of my kids, because then it becomes all about the kids. So finding a piece of myself my old self that I really love, or I had, things I love to do. And it was being with my friends or going to work out or whatever, those parts of my day. So that's my self-care, is just tapping into the old parts of me that brought me joy.
How often do you advocate and do that for yourself? On average, if you'd have to say.
Yeah. So I'm probably an anomaly. I do it pretty often. In terms of working out, I try to, like, that just makes me happy. It's my escape. Probably 4 times a week, but going out probably 2 or 3.
That's amazing.
So some moms are like, I haven't gone out to girls' dinner in 7 months.
You know what?
Like,
I noticed that you hesitated when you revealed that to us because you were like, am I going to be judged by other moms for doing this? Which is, what the heck? I congratulate you.
Absolutely.
That you're able to do this. And please do not feel guilty about it, because I mean, you can only be a great mom if you do all these things for yourself,
Right.
I think.
Totally.
And I know a handful of moms that do the exact opposite. They go into the spiral where, they work a lot, like just the same amount as the dads. The kids are either at school all day or daycare all day. And then they don't take care of themselves because they feel so guilty not spending the little amount of time that they have left with their kids in the day. They feel so guilty about not spending it with them. And then, when you visit those moms, I just hear them yelling at their kids and just being completely overwhelmed with the entire situation. And obviously they're doing their best they can, but they don't take care of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you're setting an example,
I think it's important,
for your children as well. Even though they're very young, they're able to see that mom is going and doing things still she's going out. You know what I mean? And they'll grow up seeing that and seeing that that's important for them to have in their life. Moments of meditation, even if they're not joining you now, but that you go on hikes and you need to be in nature. These are all amazing examples for your children. And if any moms feel judgy when they watch the episode, then that's something for them to look at, because clearly they're not doing it. And they want to do it. So it's really nothing against you. It's about them being mad at themselves at that point. So
yeah, I think it's just start with something small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like for me, like even in the mornings, like on Saturdays, I'll do an 8 a.m. class, and I could be making them breakfast, but I do that during the week. So I let my husband do breakfast at 8, or they'll eat later when I get home. It's like a 45-minute class, but they see, oh, mama's at the gym. So actually, I'm doing it for them, setting good habits. But it's just something that I come home, I'm happier, I'm more present with them.
right.
I get my morning to myself. For most mornings, it's just like today, it's just on. Now that school started, it's just lunch, breakfast, clothes, brush your teeth.
Yeah.
The whole drill. So, yeah, there's a lot. And then it's getting on to emails, the clients, there's deadlines. Like with litigation, I'm a litigator. So I have court deadlines, I have client deadlines, I work on a lot of tight deadlines. And I don't want to make my clients wait months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For things either, or weeks. So I'm on vacation, but I'm still in the hallway, like taking calls. And it's really just a balancing act, which is exhausting. But that's why I think it's really important that when you can, to find those moments for you, just a little pause and a reset. Just a little pause and a reset.
Well, even if it's sorry, but just back to that, even because you said starting small, even if you say maybe twice a week I have a date with my kids, or, have those set times where the kids also can look forward to something, to spending time with the mom, just with the mom, and maybe just one kid at a time.
Yeah.
I think that helps.
That's
yeah.
That's good advice.
Yeah. I don't know how kids with multiple moms with like 3 or 4 kids do that, but luckily I have 2. So last night I took my younger one to a birthday party from 4 to 7, and it was just 2 of us, which is rare during a weekday, and we had so much fun.
Awesome.
And it was such a little moment we had together that we wouldn't usually get, especially during the week.
You talked about identity a bit, like holding on to a portion. So what parts of your pre-mom identity do you feel is worth fighting for? And what parts have you allowed to evolve?
So I was very involved with different organizations and on various boards before I had kids, and I still remain on a board now. And there's been it's been like 9 years, And there's been moments throughout motherhood, I'm like, oh, this is a lot. I can't. But I've stuck to it, and it just gives me the sense of purpose and helping my community. Right. So that just really involved. I'm on the governance council at my son's school. I go to like support events that are within the community when I can. So that was my pre-life, which I brought into this life, which is a lot of balancing, but that brings me joy. I actually don't think I've let go of a lot. I which makes me crazy a little bit, and it makes me stressed out sometimes, but it also brings me this weird sense of joy. Like, I've learned to say no a lot more, but I think that's the only part that's really changed.
Wow.
And yeah, so I do a lot. And some say I shouldn't do as much, but hey, I'm still kicking. So
you're finding the time.
We're
You're
here.
finding the time to take care of yourself too, in the midst of
Yeah.
doing that. So
Yeah.
I think that that's a big balance. You know what I mean? Also, we all are driven by our purpose. There's things that drive us that I don't think we could let go of, right? And it seems like for you, helping and being of impact in the community, being impactful and imprintful to people is a part of your purpose outside of just motherhood, which you're impactful and imprintful to your children, but you also want to do that to people as a whole. So you can't let that go. You know?
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah. My kids are always my priority, my kids and my husband, but those are the things that just make me feel whole. Because motherhood is a big part of my life, but like I think Corinna was saying, it's not my whole identity. Because one day my kids are going to get older. I have older nephews, so I see it. They're going to need you less. They're going to want to be around you less. They're going to want to be with their friends, then go off to college. And then I see all these moms left with like, well, what do I have?
It was so easy to let that become your not character. What's
Life.
your what was the word you're saying? Identity. It's so easy to we just had a podcast yesterday and talked about exactly that. Like the kids depended on you for such a long time, and then you completely lost yourself and don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
That's scary.
I mean,
it is, because we were people before they were born.
Yeah, exactly. And but if I think about my own mom, it's so hard to imagine that, right? Like, who was this person before I came into the world? And I mean, obviously kids don't think about that, especially when they're little. Like, who was my mom?
I thought about, my mom was 21 when she had her first kids. I feel like it's hard. You're still kind of you're young, but I was 34 when I had my first son. So I think I had more of an identity. I'd gone through a lot more. And that's a difference, because my mom, her whole life was just us. I never saw her go out with her friends. I never saw her go do anything for herself, ever. So I did not have an example, a lick of what to do for myself, because we were everything. She had 4 kids. She didn't work. My dad worked. It was just us.
Wow.
She cooked. She cleaned. She took care of us. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna rewrite the story here.
That makes sense. I mean, I definitely saw my mother be her full self. I think she had me at 21, 22. So I didn't even have to, I just saw, I was a child that grew up fast. You know what I mean? And was also privy and experienced a lot as a child, saw a lot as a child. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't even think my mom was thinking about being a perfect mom or a good example or anything. She was just living her 20s. She was, and I was a part of it. I was very much present with my mother. So it was just, I mean, but it's made me who I am today. And, you know, I wouldn't go back and change it. It's really equipped me for real life, actually, at the end of the day. Do you think that moms in general are raising children that expect mothers to be and do everything?
To an extent, I'm just going for my kids. To an extent, yes, because my son says it.
Okay.
He's like, well, you're the mom. Like you do this. You're the mom. You do this. And I'm like, what? Where's he getting this from? Oh, because he sees me doing everything.
Yeah.
So I guess so. Am I understanding your question?
Yeah, you are. Because I mean, so I guess if the children are having this expectation, or moms in general are raising their children to feel like moms do it all and are being everything, how do you feel like that? Do you feel like that's good or bad? How do you feel about that?
Well, I want them to see a balance of dads. And I feel like a lot of dads are more involved this day and age than I know this podcast is called Mom Life Unfiltered, but I have a lot of a lot of friends I see whose dads are super involved. And my dad was never around. Like I would just see him at night, maybe. So I think the kids are expecting both parents kind of to be around. But that's on the family too. That's on like the parents to create this environment of seeing everyone contribute and help out. Like in my household, I do a lot more just because of our schedules. Right. And so everyone comes to me, right? My sons come to me. And my son will be like, I was going on my trip. He's like, Mom, I'm so happy you're leaving. I'm like, I'm so sad. Why would you say that? He's like, you need a break. And I was like, oh, this is actually really
He
sweet.
gets it.
Thank you. He gets it. Yeah. He's like, Dad's always working. I'm like, no shade to my husband. That's why I kicked him out of the office, by the way. I didn't want to hear all this. But yeah, it's really specific to the household. That's kind of all I can say on that. It's what you're showing your kid and how they're just watching everything. Kids, they're watching it all. But I don't think my older one knows I really work because I'm always with him.
Oh, okay.
You know, like when he was in preschool, they did like what my mom did. When I'm at school, my mom is home washing dishes, and I'm like, that's what he put because I'm present with him a lot.
Right.
You know, I have to take calls sometimes, but he needs a lot of attention, so I'm with him a lot. So I don't think he fully understands what I'm doing during the day when he's not here.
Well, what do you think, Corinna? Do you feel like do you experience that? Do you experience having?
Well, sorry.
Go ahead.
Finish your question. I mean, our roles are completely not normal because I'm the provider and my husband is taking care of the kids. He has a side business, but yeah. So my kids definitely don't grow up with specific expectations, but they would still call my name even if I'm on the toilet and my husband's standing right next to them outside of the toilet. Mom, mama. You know, like, excuse me, is your dad maybe right next to you right now? Can you ask him?
Yep.
No, they want mom. They want mom.
But
they're both single syllable, mom and dad. I don't know why it's not like it's any more effort to say dad.
I think that's probably the case, in any family. But yeah, so our roles are completely, I mean, as in our society, upside down. But I think, to be honest, I think it's perfect because I think my husband is the more patient, the more present, person. When he plays, he plays. You know, when I play occasionally, but I'm in my head, I'm having a hard time being there because I have 1,000 million things that I'm thinking about. So I think our kids probably have the perfect situation. And they don't, they don't grow up with having any superficial ideas. The mom has to stay home and cook and do laundry, and the dad is going to be the provider. I think, which I think is great.
I agree.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, I love that there's different dynamics, at the end of the day.
It depends on, it really depends on the family and if it works for you or not. And for us, it works. So.
No, it's beautiful. Your kids can see that, right?
Yeah, but again, I have a lot of mom guilt. Ben doesn't have dad guilt if he's not with the kids, or if he's away, he's like fully also then like in the moment, enjoying every second. And yeah, and I just have this guilt all the time.
I love it though. I love it. And Mona, this brings me to my last question. Any moms that are watching that are wanting to take the leap into a business or just into a dream that they've always been dreaming about, but have felt guilty or have felt consumed with motherhood, what advice would you give them?
So if it's consumed with well, first of all, I would just say do it. And the quote that always sticks in my mind is Martin Luther King's quote. This is kind of what pushed me to start my own firm, is just take one step, right? You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take one step. So if there's one step you can do in the positive direction of what it is you want to do. Like, I had a friend who wanted to start a jewelry business, so she started making jewelry out of her home, and then now it's growing, right? That was her dream. She was just at home with her 3 kids, and she did it, right? She started one small step. So if it's a dream, if it's something that's really in you, that you have this like desire to do it. The kids are going to see that as an example of mom doing what she loved, mom following a dream. And it's not just about you. It's a teaching experience, right? That's kind of what we want to do for our kids. So my advice would be start small, take the first step, do it. And really just surround yourself with people who support you, who have like mindsets, and find groups. Like, I started this women's group way back when I was starting my firm, because that was a mindset of people want to start businesses, and just surround yourself with like-minded people. Kids will grow, they're going to get married, you're going to have this beautiful family, and you can always have something for yourself, which will always be there.
That's amazing advice.
I love that.
Yeah. Amazing advice.
I'm going to share this. I leave this on my desk. It's a piece of repurposed wood from the ocean and from San Francisco. It's a David Henry Thoreau quote, and it just sits here on my desk. It says, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Live the life you've imagined." So I like to read that every day.
Thank you for sharing that.
Just, just do it, guys. Live life. Live your life.
Yeah, I love it. Anything you want to add, Corinna?
Well, I would say in the end, you only regret the chances you didn't take.
True. Absolutely true. And I would like to add, for any mom out there that is focused on being like a perfectionist or an expert in a certain field before they start, it's about being a contributor, not an expert. So also showing people your journey and your growth. So starting in that field, you don't have to know it all. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to be studying something for 20 years in order to start something. You can be a contributor, and people will love to hear your opinion and witness your journey in that space.
The one thing just on that, because I see this a lot with my female and male clients and just people I talk to, men will just do it. they don't need to be the best. They'll like fake it till you make it situation. But women are like, I gotta know everything. I gotta be the most qualified before I take that first step. And so barring that mindset, which I think is beautiful for men, like, no, like you just said, do the journey. So kind of tapping into that male part of us. We all have that. Like, just, you're right. Just do it. There's never going to be the right time.
Absolutely.
Never going to know enough.
Absolutely.
I for sure didn't. I didn't know everything about the law. Like, the laws are changing. I don't know everything about starting your own firm. I learned along the way.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love that you said that because you're in law.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've got rudder guides here, got all the laws I need. If I knew every, code section by heart, I would be 95 before I started my own firm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have to start somewhere, and you learn, like you said, through failing, through trial and error, you learn. That's really where you get better. So
yeah.
Thank you.
And never think you're too old to start.
Right.
Like, never. It's always a good time.
That's a good one. Well, thank you so much, Mona, for
thank you, Mona.
Life Unfiltered. Love it.
Thank you, guys. It was so nice to meet you.